definitely a
recording.
challenge.
Yeah, I should have
Yeah, good
started the
choice.
recording there. But yeah, in Unity, this is it with the light and
Oh,
baked.
oh,
Yeah,
oh.
doesn't look the same.
No, it
Um,
doesn't.
no, but I have put extra light sources in here, so there's actually where are we? I've put a light source there, whereas in Blender it's lit up purely with emission.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I
with
have.
indirect lighting, you're not going to get the shadows the same as you would with a nice point light. You do in Blender, you don't in Unity. So I've added some point lights so that we can have shadows of the furniture.
Yeah.
Just for a bit of realism. And I can easily dial down the intensity of these lights as well, to make them
Find
a
it
lot
handier
more.
to build when it's lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot easier to adjust your lighting afterwards. I like it when we've still got the direct light outside though, and you get looks like sunlight coming in at an angle and hitting the chair. That chair needs unwrapping a bit better. I've got some shadow bleeding from the edges. But yeah, we'll fix that. So as I say, today we'll finish off the sofa, because all we did last week was bake the normal map from the high poly sofa to the low poly sofa using text tools. I hope people have had a little bit of a look for that, because it is free, and I don't have the link, but you can just Google it, search for text tools, and it comes up, or text tools Blender add-on or something like that. It is really, really useful. So we'll go back to Blender to do the texture for this here sofa. I'm just going to go into material mode so I can see things a bit better, and so performance is a bit better. And I've already found a leather, what have I found? Leather something or other texture. It's still zipped up here. So I'm going to unzip it and see what we can do with it. You've given yourself away, Divine.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm just imagining things, obviously. So, yeah, so I've obviously downloaded this from Polyhaven, and I've downloaded it with a channel packed texture. So we'll sort that in a bit. But what we want to do, first of all, is make sure that this works properly. So I'm just going to create a basic arm shader, as I call it, which, as you will know from previous sessions, arm stands for ambient occlusion, roughness and metallic, and that's what is in the channel pack texture there. We've got all three maps in one texture. So I'm going to just fill in these boxes as it says albedo, normal and packed. So we'll put albedo in there, normal in there, and packed in there. And the normal, I need to tell it it's a normal so it knows what to do with it. And the channel packed one, I need to tell it to treat it as grayscale, not colour. So we'll untick sRGB, because it's got 3 grayscale maps it needs to use individually. So that should be it for leather. I'm just going to throw that on there for now. We'll lose the normal map, so you'll lose all those nice creases from the cushions, but you can see we have kind of got, it's too big, but we've got a leather texture going on. And we need to change the tiling for that, but we can't just at the minute, using this shader. What we're going to do is create a new shader. Ooh, I can hear myself. Somebody is echoing.
Barry, you're
Not me.
not on mute, buddy.
Oh, it can be, but I don't think it would.
There we go. Is that me leather? Yeah, there we go. And I've used a basic lit colour, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to create a special shader for the leather. So we'll start off, I'm just going to call it, well, I'll just call it leather because it's its own special shader. and we need to pop in our 3 textures that we've just unpacked, and they were albedo, normal, and then the packed one. So the packed one was ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic. Except for the roughness, Unity uses smoothness, so we need to invert it so it changes from rough to smooth, and we use a 1- node to do that. So roughness in there and then into smoothness. So we've basically just duplicated the arm shader. But now what I want to do is I want to add another normal, which is the one for the creases that were baked from the high poly sofa. So this is the normal here. I'm just going to bring that, come on, bring that down here. And in fact, I'll bring it below that. What I'd like to do, let's just check that this works first before we do anything. So leather, we're just going to make it, I'm going to use the Lisa leather shader that I've just made, and we'll plug all the bits and bobs in. So, and I haven't named anything, have I? Lisa, you plonker. I don't know what I'm meant to plug into where. So this is, let's just get rid of that. This is the albedo. This here is the normal. And because it's a normal, we have to tell it it's a bump and to unpack normal maps. And this is the channel packed one, so we're just going to call it packed. Okay. And now it's blue. So we'll plug in the albedo. That's not looking right, is it? Why do you think that is? I have no idea what's going on there. Lisa leather. Right, let's have a look. Leather. So we've got albedo. That's fine. Packed. Ambient occlusion. Roughness. I've used the alpha. That's why. So we're going to change that to metallic.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
And there
That
is
works
the
well.
normal. There we go. So it's kind of working. I'm going to add,
Okay.
just
Can you
bring
hear
that
me?
back up here. Yeah,
Yes, we hear
Okay,
you.
I wanna make
Yeah,
sure.
we can hear you.
I can see the screen now. I just want to make sure the sound was there and everything. Okay, I can see it now.
okay.
I left and came back. Okay.
I can't remember what we use for tiling now. Tiling and offset? No. Texture coordinates? Texture coordinates, there we go, tiling. So, I'm just going to adjust the tiling on this because it's way too big. So I'm just going to add a float which will plug into tiling, and it's always at 1 by default to start with, so we'll leave it at that. We'll make it a property so we can adjust it in the material, and we'll call it tiling. And that saves me having to type the same tiling into each of these. I can just use one value here. I can scroll it up and I can tile the leather so it looks a bit more, well, how it should really. Oh God, I'm clipping through things trying to get up close. It's still too small, but, or big rather, but that kind of looks okay. A nice leather. So let's see if we can work out how to add in the original normal now. So I've got to figure out where it was first of all. Where did I put it? Would it be under textures? Yes, it would. So for normal. So we'll go back here, open up our material, and we've already got that here. I'm just going to call this, I'll just call it creases so we know which normal it is. Oh, that's fine. And somehow I need to join it with this. So we could try using an add node. That might work. So we'll plug in creases and then plug in the leather normal and plug that into normal up here. Does that work? Not really. Is that because my normal is set wrong? Nope, it says it's a normal map.
Have you added it?
Let's have a look here. Creases. We haven't told it it's a normal there. So that might have something to do with it. Yeah, you're right. I haven't added it in, but at least we've got the the setup right. Let's stick that in there now. Okay, that looks like we've got our creases. Is that right? Yeah, that's it. We've got our creases and we've got a leather texture. And when you look along it, that actually looks quite nice with the patches of shiny and not so shiny. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. It's got a bit of a weird sheen to it, which I'm not all that happy about. But that might disappear when we rebake it. I doubt it though. So I might have to fiddle with that shader a bit more. It might be a case of toning down the smoothness a bit. I wonder if I could do that now. It's in the packed ambient occlusion roughness, so it's the green. I'm thinking, let's see, let's try adding a colour node. And we'll try doing another add. I don't know if it's add we need. And this is where the fun starts with Amplify. You can just stick nodes in and see what happens, and you can get some really funky results. So let's make this a property. And we'll call it, oh goodness, I'm going American. Colour has a U. Colour overlay. No offence, you know, but I'm English, so I spell it the English way. There we go. So colour overlay. Let's see what happens.
Color does have a U, Lisa. Don't let the Americans gaslight you.
Okay, fair enough. Well, add clearly isn't what we want. So I wonder if it's... I wonder if I should replace that 1 minus. Just try that plugged straight in, because before I change it to multiply. Because you see, you know, my maths is absolutely appalling. That doesn't really do anything, does it? That's just making the wrong parts shiny. So yeah, we'll stick that back. Oh, it's already in 1 minus. We'll stick that back into there. let's try adding a multiply. And see if that does anything. Now it has no shininess whatsoever. And I should be able to control. Oh, look at that. See, that's a lot more subtle. That is exactly what I want. I don't want it absolutely pure white. I just want to be able to dial that down so we don't get any of that. Well, we've still got a bit of a weird sheen, but it's not as bad as it was. And we just get a little touch of the effect. I think that is about as good as we're going to get, you know, with Unity. But at least we've got leather and we've managed to combine it with the baked normal that were baked from the high poly sofa. So we've got the creases in there as it should be. And I think that actually doesn't look half bad. Now the other thing is we've got these chrome legs which look absolutely awful. And probably the reason for that is because we don't have a reflection probe. So the metal isn't reflecting anything. It's just this weird shiny thing with no real dimension to it. So I'm going to very quickly add in a reflection probe. We'll just stick it there. Light reflection probe. And we'll move it to roughly the middle of the room. And we need it actually in the room, not below the ground. We'll stick it right in the centre. That'll do. Some people say that you should place your reflection probe at eye height. But I don't think that it helps. It still doesn't render proper, what's the word? Reflections. They're still all off. I've not found a way yet of being able to do reflections properly, realistically. If I find out, when I find out, I will definitely share it here. But for now, I'm just sticking in this reflection probe. Let's untick that and we'll bake everything again and bake the reflection probes, and then we'll start on the doors. I know what I'd said a few weeks ago was we would do doors with scripts, with like trigger colliders. But you know, I really, really, really want to do doors with hinge joints instead, that you can just walk up to them and push the doors open. I think that just is more realistic if it's going to be a house
Sounds
that
like a
you
good
can
idea.
walk through. Yeah. Doors that you can push open and they'll just spring shut on their own behind you. I think that would be quite cool. So, I'm just waiting for this to finish doing its baking, and we'll do some doors.
That's funny. I can see. It's I can see that it's pony there, but here I just see the robot.
Oh, how bizarre.
Okay, so it's opposite.
That's weird. You see the robot in the screen?
Wait, that's pony?
No, I see pony in the screen. This is a robot here. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I don't see.
Yeah.
how
I don't see the
odd.
robot.
I see the
Shane,
robot.
Shane. That's all I get. Robots with the name of Shane.
Oh, yours says Shane too.
Oh yeah, it did have Shane. Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious me. Oh,
But on the
yeah.
TV
Who's
screen,
over
I
by
see-
the
I'm
wall?
just getting
Yeah.
On
mute
the
block
TV
when I
screen, I
click
see
on pony.
Yeah.
You've
Even
got
when
no
he's on
name.
holiday, he's still on to it.
Luna's got no name. I see Berry's
Bailey.
name. Kalima. That's all
Bailey-
fine. Bailey's
Bailey.
name. No, his is gone.
Ba-
I can
yeah.
see Triffid. Yeah.
Yeah, just Bailey and
Yeah, he's not
Pony's
on
the
it.
only ones
It's
I
because
don't
Shane's
see.
trying to haunt us.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
How
You
odd.
from beyond
That
that.
also is, man.
Right, well,
Everything
bacon's
I mean,
finished. So I'm now going to render the reflection probe and see if these legs look a bit better. And yes, they do, because they're reflecting the red of the walls. At least it looks a bit more realistic. I think next week we'll probably do slidey doors. I'm not going to do them this week because I actually don't know how. I'm going to have to find out how to have them slide across a rail, along a rail, shall we say. I still need to do my garage door and my back door and the kitchen window. There's loads of stuff still to do in here. But we'll concentrate on doors this week. So we'll start with probably this one because it's nice and easy to see, to get to. So if I go first of all into Blender, and we'll just find, well, that's not what I wanted. Come on, Lisa. Find the door frame that I've got. We basically want to make a door that's going to fit in here. So the easiest thing to do is to go into edit mode. Now that door frame is all triangulated because I've actually brought it back in from Unity. So I'm going to try and remember how to, there we go, tries to quads, how to get rid of the triangulation. It hasn't done all the faces, but it's done the ones I need. So I'm going to select that face, and that face. And I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to separate it by selection by pressing P and then selection. And we can see that the new thing is now called Living Room Door 002. So we'll come out of edit mode and just select that. And then I'll just isolate it so we can see what we're doing. Go into edge mode. And then we can join these edges up by selecting that edge, holding shift, selecting that edge and pressing F for fill. It doesn't help that we've got some edges that are marked sharp, so I'm just going to get rid of those by selecting everything, F3, and I'm going to search for sharp, clear sharp. There we go. That's a bit better. And we'll just shade it flat. Okay, so back into edge mode, select that edge and that edge, F for fill, that edge and that edge, F for fill. Out of edit mode, and if you hit the / button, it'll take you out of isolation. Now it's too wide, it's very, very thick, that door. So I'm just going to go into X-ray mode and top down view by pressing 7 on my numpad and then the period key to zoom in on it. And I'm just going to scale it along the Y-axis. So S for scale and Y, and I'm going to bring it in a bit. So it's, I don't know how thick a door is, maybe about that. No idea. Doesn't matter, just eyeball it, whatever looks right.
1.25 inches.
Okay. Well, I'm just doing it like that. It's fine. The only thing now is it's just a smidge too big because obviously it's not going to be touching the frames all around. So I'm literally just going to goodness gracious, can you hear my squeaky chair? Lordy. I'm just going to scale it down by a tiny little bit. No, I don't need to do that. What I need to do is, it's still not what I want. Control and A, apply the rotation and scale, and then see if that's going to scale it a little bit better. It's hard to tell. What I wanted to do is scale it evenly on all sides. But it's not doing that, so I'll isolate those so I can see it a bit better. and I'm just going to eyeball it. So scale it along the X a little bit and scale it along the Y a little bit. No, scale it along the Z a little bit. Mind. There we go. So we've kind of got a door. Yeah. Now then, I'm going to get rid of these UV maps for it because I'm now about to unwrap it properly. So select everything. We'll just do cube projection. And then with my favourite UV Packmaster, you would, if you don't have UV Packmaster, you can use UV Pack Islands and then adjust your margin. But I've already got my margin set, so I'm just selecting everything and hitting pack. Hit it a couple of times. That'll do. And we'll just create a second one for the light map to bake the shadows on. And that's our door. So I'm literally just going to select everything and export it all again, because that's what I did in the beginning, was just exported everything as one FBX. And into Unity, and we've got a door. Except it's weird, I seem to be able to see the inside, so I'm just going to check that it's correct by going into face orientation, and it's not. My normals are flipped. So we'll go into face mode, select everything and just press shift and N, and that'll recalculate your normals. Out of face orientation, everything. And we'll have another look. And there we go, we've got a nice solid door there. Now because the door is going to be dynamic, we don't want to bake the lighting onto it, because the shadows won't move, the lighting won't change on the door as it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do instead is light the door using light probes instead of a light map. So I don't need to rebake. What I am going to use for speed, I know when we did the cave, I actually added the light probes manually and showed you how to dot them about the place, and the importance of trying to get them specifically where shadow and light met. Whenever the lighting changed, you would put a light probe there. Today, I'm going to do it the quick way. And I think Aline has used this before as well in one of her sessions, so you might have seen it before. But there's something called magic light probes, which you can get from the Unity Asset Store. And we literally add a volume to our scene. And then under the MLP group, you have to tell it what your flow is. You've got to drag and drop it in there. So where it's called flows, just pop that in. And then decide how far apart you want your light probes to be. You can do any, playing around with it here. Tell it how many light probes you want, depending on your volume. But you do need to edit your volume bounds, because at the moment, just like we did with a reflection probe, actually I didn't even adjust this reflection probe, did I? I don't know what I was thinking of, but I should have done. So let's get the reflection probe sorted first. And all I'm going to do is try and remember where the edges of me living room walls are. Oh, I'll just have it cover everything. I can fiddle on with it afterwards. There we go. Pop that there. And that there. And that there. And there's only that bit that I'm missing actually. We'll just stick that up to there. Right, so that's my reflection probe. That's going to be more performant. Whenever you add reflection probes to rooms, try and make them just as big as you need them and no bigger. Don't have a huge thing that covers the whole world, because not only is it going to take forever to bake, but you know, it's just, you really need to just be as minimal as you can. It's the same with anything in VR. Just use what you can get away with. Make it as little as possible. So this volume for the light probes is exactly the same thing. So I'm going to just pop it in the center. And then edit volume bounds. That's not what I wanted. Why isn't that editing the way it should? Have I not got? Okay. I actually dragged individual edges the other day, and I don't know how I did it, but we're just going to do this. Drag that up. And have a quick look from the top. I guess technically I could do outside as well, but I'm not going to bother for the moment. So that's that done. Let's just try. Oh, goodness. I can't alter that right now. That's fine. Have I got me ground in? Oh, there it is. Floors. Yeah. So calculate probes. And for some reason, that is a bit weird. That's never happened before. Why have I only got some probes there? What is going on?
That's impressive.
Isn't it? Isn't it? We've got a wall of light probes floating in the air.
You've duplicated them, haven't you?
I haven't duplicated anything. How strange. How bizarre. Quick editing. Huh? I wonder why. I've got my floors in.
Oh,
Do I need to use the volume bottom? Let's give it one more go before I delete it. Look at that. Right, we're not going to bother with that. That's the first time I've ever had issues with this. I don't know what the heck is going on. So we'll
Just do it
figure that
manually,
out for
quicker.
next week. What we need to do, because we've got 10 minutes, is get this hinge done for the door. So, first thing I want to do is add a hinge joint. It already adds a rigid body, which is what we want. Don't touch that. That's absolutely fine for now. Now then. Let me see. Wait, what we need to do is tell it where the axis is going to be for the anchor, which is basically the joint. So we want it to be on the y-axis. So we'll add one there. This is really annoying me because I can't just see the door on its own. It's really driving me around the bend. Anyway, there we go. Anchor is moving up and down. I don't know if you can see that little arrow there that moves up and down. What we want is for it to be where the hinge is to be. So I'm going to move it on the X. And what I'm going to do is hide that. And oh, no. Hide that. Oh, goodness gracious me. And I want this little arrow to be on the edge of the door. And I think, oh, come on, that is about right. It's a little bit, we'll try 0.34. No. 0.35. There we go. There's our little yellow arrow. So we then need to tell it we're going to use a spring and give it a bit of, let's just turn that like that. I'm not sure. We'll start with 1, 1 to start with. And under limits, we'll use limits because we want it to be to open no more than, well, minus 90 to 90, I suppose. Okay, so have we got a camera in the world? Yes, we have. So let's just save what we've got and give it a try. Go back to the scene and see what happens when we open it. So it's closing very slowly, but it's swinging backwards and forwards. So we want the spring to be a bit stronger. We'll try 5. That's faster, but it's swinging a bit too much. So I'm going to turn the dampen up a bit. Maybe make that 3. That's a bit better. We'll make that 5. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that'll do. So what I'm going to do is just copy the settings from there, and when I come out of play mode, you see, it'll go back to what it was. So I'm just going to paste them in. Paste component values. So now that should be it. Fixed, kind of. So we want to bring back the items that were hidden. And yeah, there is a door. Obviously, we can add in a handle and whatever else we want. But that should open up when we walk up to it. We can push it open and it'll close behind us as we go through the door. And I could just copy and paste that asset and put it in each doorway. Technically. Living room door. Let's just call that. Let's just call that interior door. And I'll duplicate it and man, this is a bit annoying. There we go. Put that over here. Okay. Now I don't know whether it translates the anchor. I think it does. I'm sure I can see the anchor there as well. So that should be fine. Because I think this is relative to the actual object that you have. So we'll give it a go. There we go. So we've got swingy doors. How's about I'll figure out what went wrong with me light probes for next week. We'll get those in, we'll get the rest of the doors finished and maybe upload it and have a walk around next week. How do you feel about that? And we'll test the
that
doors
sounds
out
good.
and see
Yeah,
if they do actually work.
Good.
Because they should.
Excellent.
Okay. We've got a few minutes still to go. Does anyone have any questions, or is there anything else that you'd like me to explain or go over that we've done this week?
I got a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming in here, I'm on PCVR through Steam,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't read anything on the screen. I can see the images, but like it's real tough to read. Is there any way to sharpen it a little bit?
Ooh, right. Good question. Why can't I move? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know
I think that's a screencast issue, isn't it?
it is. I think it is just a screencast issue. I think there's a limit to the
Yeah.
resolution that can
There
be
is a limit.
cast
Okay.
directly into the world. But if you have a look at the playlist with all the previous videos as well, you should be able to see it a lot better on YouTube.
Sure.
So all of my
Okay, cool.
sessions are recorded, so people can go back to them and work through them at their own pace. And the URL is just on the board at the back of the room there as well, should you want to have a look.
Wolfcat68.
That's me.
Okay. At Wolfcat68. Great.
Okie dokie. So, like I say, we've still got a bit of time. Is there anything anybody would like me to cover? Or shall I just carry on filling in these doorways for now? Ready for next week. We've still got to do glass. I need to pick your brains about that shader as well, Pony. Because I couldn't work out how... Well, maybe I was just being obtuse at the time, but I couldn't work out how to use it.
Right, I'll.
So maybe
Ah.
next week you could show me how to use it.
Yeah, I'll have a look how I use it. 'Cause now it's I just copy and paste it from one to another, so I don't
Right.
actually ever have to think about it. It's just done.
Yeah. Well, I've never used it at all, so yeah. That would be cool if you don't mind. I
Gotta
would
go.
like.
Talk to y'all later.
Okie dokie. Bye,
Good
Divine.
class.
Bye.
Later.
We're going.
There we go. There's a third door. It's probably going to open the wrong way. I have no idea where my hinge is. I guess we'll find out. I can always just spin it by 180. I know. There we go. It opens the right way into my kitchen. Doesn't that look lovely and warm and inviting? It's the wrong colour though. I've just realised it's the wrong colour. That's not what colour my kitchen is. Cream, grass, heather, red. Yeah, I'm missing a colour. Yeah, my toilet is the wrong colour as well. Right, we're gonna have that fixed for next week. But yeah, I'm quite tickled about these doors. I think they're gonna be cool. So yeah, and we'll get these light probes working so they don't look grey. I should probably stick the right material on them, but it doesn't make any difference. They're always going to look grey because there's no baked lighting, at least until I get the light probes in. Yeah. So maybe as well next week, as well as doing the light probes when I figure out what went wrong, we'll do the skirting boards. We'll maybe get some glass in the windows. And then I don't know what else. We've got more lights to make. I could just duplicate this pendant light, of course. But yeah, there's lots to do to fill this place up. And then maybe as well, I might actually have the upstairs finished. You might not bang your head on the ceiling here. That would be nice if we've got bedrooms to get up to as well. But I've kind of run out of steam now. Like I say, we've still got a few minutes because we were late getting started. So if there's anything you'd like me to go over, I'm more than happy to. Otherwise, I'm now going to spend these next few minutes drinking me tea and just chatting.
Cool.
Unless anybody needs to dash off.
That's the best way.
Yeah,
I think we're all good.
good.
Nice cuppa.
So this session will be on your YouTube today.
It will, yeah. I'm going to, I'll end the recording now. So I'll just say thank you everybody for coming. And I hope to see you all next week, the usual stuff. And then I'll stop the recording